Okay, let's just dive right into this. Welcome to another explainer where we're looking straight into the massive and honestly often confusing landscape of cyber threats. We all know we live in a connected world, right? But navigating the modern digital battlefield can sometimes feel like walking through an invisible minefield. Every single day we rely on digital infrastructure, and every single day unseen actors are out there trying to exploit it. So today we're going to break down the actual taxonomy of cybercrime so you can understand exactly what we're up against.
To make sense of this massive digital underworld, this rogues gallery, we've broken things down into 5 key areas. We've got 1. The cybersecurity landscape. 2. Deception and identity theft. 3. Disruption and malicious code. 4. The hacker color spectrum. And 5. Silent financial data attacks. Let's get right into it.
All right, Section 1. The cybersecurity landscape. Protecting the digital environment.
Before we can even talk about the crimes, we have to know what we're actually protecting, right? It all revolves around what's called the CIA triad. That stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. The ultimate goal of literally any security system is protecting this triad from being compromised. Confidentiality ensures data is kept secret. Integrity means the data hasn't been altered or tampered with. And availability ensures that authorized users can actually access the system when they need it. Every single cyber attack out there is trying to topple at least one of these 3 pillars. Let's move to our first category of threats and see exactly how they target these defenses.
Section 2. Deception and identity theft. Crimes of trickery.
So, these are crimes where they trick you. Attackers are always adapting to our habits, and identity theft methods are usually grouped by the medium they use, but the malicious goal remains exactly the same: stealing your personal information. When an attacker disguises themselves as a trustworthy entity via email, it's called phishing. But if they pick up the phone and use a voice call to trick you, that's known as vishing, short for voice phishing. And if they send you a text message to lure you in, well, that's smishing. The delivery method changes, but the trap is absolutely identical.
The mechanism of phishing is incredibly simple, yet totally devastating. By putting on a digital disguise, attackers basically get you to willingly hand over the keys to the castle, your usernames, passwords, credit cards. Once they have that sensitive data, they can directly access your accounts and steal your money. It's digital impersonation at its absolute most effective. And to make phishing even more convincing, attackers use a technique called email spoofing. This is the process of altering the hidden header information of an email. By doing this, the original source is completely masked, and to you, the recipient, it looks like the email originated from a perfectly legitimate source. This is exactly why that fake email from your CEO or your bank looks so incredibly convincing. It complements phishing attacks perfectly, making that illusion of trustworthiness really hard to spot.
Now, kind of related to this massive influx of unwanted communication is spamming. Spam isn't just an annoying inbox filler, it's an actual structural threat. It hits 3 criteria. It's mass mail to a huge number of targets, the sender is completely anonymous, and it's entirely unsolicited by the recipient. Beyond just irritating us, it actually overloads networks, wastes critical time, and chokes infrastructure by just occupying valuable memory space everywhere.
Section 3. Disruption and malicious code. The use of digital force.
We're definitely escalating from quiet deception to aggressive force here. Think about the contrast. On one side, we have computer vandalism. That's physically destroying hardware using force, or using code to literally wreck the machine itself. On the other side, we have the spreading of digital viruses. Now, a virus might not physically smash your screen, but the financial loss and the downtime are just as brutal. We're talking about massive costs for repairing the system and huge losses of business opportunity while everything is forced offline.
Another incredibly aggressive form of disruption is the denial of service, or DOS attack. A DOS attack basically chokes a network to death. Attackers flood the system with an overwhelming, just massive amount of useless traffic. The network becomes so congested that it eventually collapses, completely preventing any legitimate traffic from getting through. It's an intense, urgent threat that acts just like a digital blockade.
Now, when disruption becomes political, we see 2 distinct categories: cyberterrorism and webjacking. Cyberterrorism involves using computer resources to aggressively intimidate or coerce a government or a civilian population to further specific political or social objectives. Webjacking, while also often political, is slightly different. This is when a hacker gains access to an organization's website and completely blocks or modifies it. They might hijack a site to flash flags of opposing nations, like the flags of India and Pakistan, serving a specific political interest.
In both cases, the resources are being weaponized for an agenda.
Moving on to Section 4, the hacker color spectrum. Because, actually, not all hacking is evil.
Hacking, fundamentally, is really just modifying a system to accomplish a goal outside its original purpose. And there's a whole ethical ecosystem here. White hats? They're your ethical defenders. They find vulnerabilities and notify organizations so preventative action can be taken. Black hats are the malicious exploiters, causing damage for personal, social, or economic benefit. Gray hats look for bugs and then basically offer the fix to administrators for a consultancy fee. And blue hats are outside consultants brought in specifically to stress test systems right before they officially launch. It's a complex but working ecosystem.
All right, our final section, Section 5, Silent Financial Data Attacks. The truly invisible threats.
This brings us to some of the most insidious damage out there, starting with the salami attack. It's honestly brilliant in its subtlety. First, the attacker breaches someone's online banking. But instead of taking a massive lump sum that would instantly raise red flags, they siphon off tiny, microscopic increments. Over a long period of time, those invisible pennies accumulate into an absolute fortune.
To put that into perspective, look at this threshold, 1,000 rupees. Why does this exact number matter? Well, because banks set default reporting triggers. By keeping every single withdrawal just under that 1,000 rupee mark, the thief never triggers an automatic alert to the account owner. They literally bleed the account dry in complete silence.
Another totally silent attack is called data diddling. Funny name, but a very serious threat. This involves altering raw data just before it's processed by a computer, and then quickly reverting it back once the execution is done. It's fascinating, really. Imagine someone's base salary is artificially inflated in the payroll system right before calculations are run. The bloated check hits the bank, and immediately the data is reverted to the actual lower salary in the final report. The extra money vanishes, but the books balance perfectly. No one's the wiser.
Then you have logic bombs and cross-site scripting, or XSS. These are terrifying because they hide in things we inherently trust. A logic bomb just sits silently in legitimate software, waiting for a specific date or condition to detonate, and when it does, boom, it wipes data or crashes the whole system. Cross-site scripting hides right inside trusted websites. When your browser loads the page, the malicious script executes and steals your cookies and sensitive info while you're just browsing, sending it straight back to the attacker.
Real quick, let's also touch on two opportunistic internet crimes that just exploit our trust and digital infrastructure. Online auction fraud uses the reputation of genuine auction websites to lure customers into schemes where they either overpay or simply never receive the item after they've paid. And cyber squatting, that's the act of reserving a domain name that matches someone else's trademark purely with the intent to hold it hostage and sell it back to the rightful owner at a heavily inflated price.
Which brings us to a final, pretty unsettling thought to wrap up this explainer. Digital forgery and counterfeiting have advanced so far that digital fakes can now perfectly match original documents. If it literally requires an expert to tell them apart, can we truly trust the authenticity of the digital documents we rely on every single day? It's a vulnerable reality we all share. Keep your digital eyes open out there, and thanks for joining me for this one.